Shalom, I'm Rabbi Jonathan Ginsburg of the Ezra Habanim Naos Township Jewish Congregation. This video is in honor of Earth Day, and it's about Jewish environmentalism. From the very beginning of the Jewish experience, the Hebrew Bible 4,000 years ago, Jews have been deeply concerned about preserving the environment. In fact, when you read the first chapter of Genesis, you see that first came the world, the plants and the oceans, the birds, the fish, and then came human beings. Now, it does say there that we should have dominion over the earth, but that is understood as vishamruha, and to guard the earth, to be guardians of the garden, to be careful with what we have. And so there are many specific mitzvot, commandments in the Torah about dealing with the earth. For example, one called Bal Tashchit, where you're not allowed to use anything needlessly, to waste anything. And so that has deep impact for our attitude about how we consume and what we do. There's a specific commandment about when you are besieging a town, if you have to in war, and you need wood, don't cut down fruit trees, because you'll need them to feed the population of that town later. A basic sense about protecting the environment. And so as we think about all of these rules, think about the practice of Shemitah, agricultural conservation, where you weren't allowed to plant every 7 years to preserve the soil and let it be naturalized, fertilized. It wasn't always money for whatever cause it was, but to help preserve the earth for other purposes. And so we think about this principle today, when scientists the other day said they think that possibly the disappearance of the bees, which are vital for helping feed the world through pollination, are disappearing in huge rates, and maybe because of cell phone use. And so wouldn't that be an amazing idea, that because we want to use cell phones that we're going to destroy ourselves? Einstein once said, supposedly, once the bees disappear, humanity disappears 4 years later. Second of all, we have a new year for trees. We celebrate trees and nature in the land of Israel. Trees everywhere. And Israel was the only nation in the last century that had a net surplus of trees at the end. And so what did trees do for us? Trees take bad things out of the air and put good things in. I read somewhere that one tree takes away the pollution of 13 cars. Or think about the prohibition against eating oysters in the Bible. Jews can't eat anything that in the ocean that doesn't have fins or scales. You know what oysters do besides provide pearls? They are the ocean's cleaning system. They take bad stuff out of the ocean and put stuff in. And I read an article recently that since oysters are disappearing at a huge rate, the oceans are getting worse and worse, and that's killing all kinds of things that live in the ocean and that we depend on. And so on this Earth Day, let's think about the deep values of Judaism, of protecting the garden, of guarding the garden, of making sure that when we consume, we do so judiciously, using the least amount of the Earth's environment as we can to help preserve it for ourselves and for future generations. This has a deep impact on the issue of global warming, on conserving energy, and providing alternative energy sources. And politically, the biggest problem in the world we know is Islamic fanaticism, the mass murder going on around the world, and the threats to world peace. And the biggest problem there is our dependence on foreign oil. We need to find alternative energy sources just to protect ourselves and also preserve the universe. Happy birthday, Earth.